So Neil Hutchinson, tell us what you're doing here today.
We're collecting a grab sample from this wetland to see if there's any road salt runoff in it and any chloride. And we're going to measure it with this little instrument here, which measures conductivity. Conductivity is simply a surrogate for the total amount of salts or hardness of the water. So we can then relate this back to a graph that will relate this back to chloride.
And so you're here at the intersection of the entrance to Gravenhurst on Talisman Drive there, and by the McDonald's, and so you're checking all over town, I guess, eh?
We have about 11 sites, ranging from the inflows at Jevons Lake at Highway 11, right back into Muskoka Bay, and then runoff from West Gravenhurst, and then we have a drainage coming down from Loon Lake, which is a very natural reference system.
So you're comparing these to either side of the highway? And
yeah, to each other. We compare them to, depending on what the land use is around them, and we do, the most useful ones are upstream and downstream of a highway, and we'll show you on 169 a very obvious example of how the highway changes the water quality there.
And you're doing this basically because you're concerned about the overabundance of salt.
We're interested in it. A lot of science has been done recently by scientists at York University and Queen's University show that chloride is quite damaging to freshwater plankton, to small shrimp in water that is soft, like the Canadian Shield water. The Canadian Shield water makes them more susceptible to many contaminants, including chloride. And the low amount of food, the low productivity of our waters also tends to make freshwater life a bit more sensitive to chloride. So we're worried about the health of the lakes, and wondering if there's alternatives to putting road salt in place that could be done that would reduce the amount of road salt going in and still maintain public safety on our roads.
Well, I heard that private contractors, they've been getting pressure because they used to spread a mixture of sand and salt, and now the owners of the properties want full salt there, and the price has gone up like 4 times apparently.
I hadn't heard about the prices, and I hadn't heard about the owners wanting road salt. I know part of the fear is that people fear if they don't sock the salt to their sidewalk, if somebody falls, they're going to get sued. I think we have to put that in context and expect that it doesn't take as much, so they tend to over-insure, like add more than they need to get the same effect. And a mixture of salt and sand is equally effective as a mixture of salt to getting the job done.
So it cuts it in half. You'd use half as much.
Yeah, if you could use half as much, yeah, some alternative, yeah. And the salt, of course, melts away and runs away with the first thaw. The sand tends to stay there. I put a mixture on my driveway, for example. I have a very steep driveway, and some types of really slick ice, yeah, you want to put a little bit of salt on it, but most of the time the sand will get the job done.
But effectively, overabundance, too much salt is really hurting the water, you think?
It's hurting the freshwater life that lives in the water, yes, absolutely. That's our biggest concern, and coupled with the fact that there should be ways to manage it so that we can have safety and still not damage our waters.
And are you having luck trying to get this concept or this idea across to
well, we're only at the beginning, so we haven't really been able to judge it. Someone told us at Watershed Council, Muskoka Watershed Council, a couple of weeks ago that in Mount Tremblant, the big resort area in Quebec, they've banned road salt. And that's a winter area like Muskoka, probably a bit colder. They probably don't need as much salt, but it'd be interesting to know if their traffic accidents have changed as a result of that.
But you're going to check this out and compare it?
Yeah, that's one of the things I'd like to look into just for personal interest. And
how long have you been doing this? Because you got a report, you wrote a report for the Friends of the Watershed?
Yeah, I'm on the board of the Friends of the Muskoka Watershed, and Dr. Norman Yan wrote that report on 10 questions about road salt, which is available at the Friends of Muskoka Watershed website, or dropping into the office. But Norm Yan wrote that, he took the lead on that, and I'm helping him out. So.
Okay, let's go and see some more of this.
Okay, let me write our results down.
Okay.